Have you ever held your breath for so long you started seeing things, little flashes in the corners of your eyes? That's what happened to me. But the things I saw, they didn't go away. It started a week ago. I was swimming laps, pushing myself, and held my breath a little too long underwater. When I came up, gasping, the world was hazy. But in that haze, standing at the far end of the pool, was a woman. She was pale, almost translucent, with long dark hair that seemed to float, even out of the water. I blinked, and she was gone. I just brushed it off. You know, lack of oxygen. But then I saw her again. The next day I was stuck in a crowded elevator. It was stuffy, and I found myself holding my breath without thinking. When the doors opened, she was there, standing in the lobby, just staring at me with these empty, hollow eyes. This time, I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the building's air conditioning. I started to notice a pattern. Every time I held my breath, even for a few seconds, tying my shoes, lifting something heavy, even in a moment of surprise, she would appear. Always at a distance, always silent, always watching. I tried to ignore it, to convince myself I was just stressed, but the fear was like a cold knot in my stomach. Who was she? What did she want? I began researching, diving into old folklore and obscure medical journals. I found scattered references to something called a liminal entity, a being that exists in the spaces between actions, in the pauses of life. They called her the woman born between breaths. The legends said she's drawn to the moments when we'd suspend our own life force, even for a second. She feeds on that stillness, that brief flirtation with nothingness. The sightings became more frequent, and she started getting closer. One night I woke up with a feeling of immense pressure on my chest, like I couldn't breathe. I opened my eyes, and she was there, standing at the foot of my bed. Her face was clearer now. It was gaunt, with skin stretched tight over her bones, and her mouth was a thin, dark line. I let out a scream, and in that exhale of air, she vanished. I became obsessed with breathing. I practiced deep, constant breaths, never letting my lungs be still. I avoided anything that might make me hold my breath. No more swimming, no more elevators, no more strenuous exercise. I felt like a prisoner in my own body, constantly monitoring my own most basic function. It was exhausting. Last night was the worst. I was trying to fall asleep, focusing on the rhythm of my breathing, in and out, but I must have drifted off, and my breathing must have paused in that moment between waking and dreaming. I was jolted awake by an icy touch on my cheek. She was leaning over me, her face inches from mine, her hair cold and damp, brushed against my skin. I could see every detail of her empty, soulless eyes. Her mouth opened, a silent, gaping void, as if to swallow the very air from my lungs. I scrambled back, gasping, hyperventilating, and she flickered away. I've been awake ever since, sitting here breathing, in and out, in and out. I'm terrified to stop. I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. The legends say she wants to take your final breath, to pull you into the stillness with her forever. Every second I forget to breathe, she gets closer. How do you fight something that lives in the very pauses of your existence? I'm breathing now, but what happens when I can't? Thanks for listening. If you have stories about things you've seen in the corner of your eye, share them in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more tales from the shadows. Stay safe, and remember to breathe.